This is a map that's about 18 months old now, I think, and it shows you the blotching mark. And there's another thing I'm going to show you that Mike and I are responsible for. Again, when you reproduce these things, sometimes the dots even end out in the ocean. I can assure you there's no plantations out in the ocean, although there is one, and they've certainly made a mess at Tigley Island, above Darwin. But if you actually look at that map, we are looking at the Great Divide and the high rainfall areas of Tasmania and Western Australia. That is the plantation estate as of, I think the date's there, it'll be around about 2006. Dave got it. And the last place I went to last year was a place called Lankies Creek, which is in from Tumbarumba and Holbrook. It's beautiful country. It's as fertile and as rich as places in Tasmania. It's a massive pine plantation. When it catches fire, 40,000 hectares of pine go up at once. This is the catchment for the Murray. It's not a pretty picture. And again, opportunity costs here are enormous. Now, I gave an example on radio this morning. At home, people decided to put some cereal crops in. We don't normally do it, they did. And they've been harvesting and they've been making around about $450 a tonne at the header. So it's harvested straight in the truck at that point, they're paid. No freight, nothing. A year ago it was probably about $120 a tonne. Right next door is a pine plantation. You're going to wait 30 years for that. And I think the people with the crop have probably made more money in 1 year than that pine plantation is going to make for 30. That is opportunity cost, and we're not in a position where we can afford to do that because we need money, and we need it now, for the infrastructure that we haven't had done in this country for the last 30 years. There's no planning. Climate change, which is what I want to talk about in a minute, is going to affect all of that. The Science Journal, I'd ask you if you get a chance to refer to my website and look that up, because it talks about what a plantation will actually do to your soils and to your water. Up to 52% of the stream flow can disappear because of plantations, and you can irreversibly change the nature of your soil. In Western Victoria, some of those plantations will not get a second rotation because they can't get a decent crop in the first, and they have no hope in the second. And to remove the roots, etc., out of that will take enormous amount of money, an enormous amount of bulldozer hours, a fair amount of carbon emissions, actually. And of course the irrigation industry is associated with it. And this is the one that Mike got together, and this one's, I love doing this one because it's spectacular. The accuracy here, of course, when you look at the scale, can't be perfect. It doesn't need to be, because really what we're showing here is the yellow is your prime soils in Tassie. The red is your plantation estate. They don't want the good land, do they? Now, I'll put in a comment here from Peter McGorran, who's the previous Minister for Agriculture. Peter wasn't a bad bloke. He actually helped me a lot when I was fighting the chemical contamination side here. There were a few people in the past cabinet who were not against us, but they got zero. Okay? It's going to be very interesting to see what this new cabinet does. But there we are, out of the mouths of the Federal Minister for Agriculture about tax and making decisions to produce. And you know who wins, and in the end I might lose, but let's face it, as a federal minister said to me, Robert, why don't you just take the money and piss off to the coast? Well, at least I had the option of taking the money. What's the Australian population got? Because do you want your food controlled and supplied by guns? I mean, that's your choice at the moment, because in the end, the only way you can affect this is the ballot box. Yes. That's the only way.